Aaron Dubé here with Speed Sport Live for Jalopnik. We're here with David Coulthard, and we're going to see what he thinks about the Austin experience. First of all, David, good to meet you. Hope you've cooled off a little bit. I know it's a little bit warm in Texas right now for you. But start off, what's your favorite F1 track in your career that you've seen? What is the track that you think is your favorite? And tell us a little bit why it's your favorite.
Well, I think that Spa was always my favorite track in Belgium, and there's no question that the challenge of that circuit, it's an old track, so very natural the way it finds its way, through the forest that's in the Ardennes forest in Belgium. Long lap as well, so you really get the chance to sort of grow into the lap, and Eau Rouge is just an unbelievable corner there, which is right at the beginning of the lap. Monte Carlo is another favourite of mine because it's just the ultimate challenge for a driver. There's no room for error. Any mistake, you hit the barrier.
That's the one problem I have in Gran Turismo with it. I'm always hitting the barrier. So, having seen the schematics and the drawings and the architectural drawings of the Circuit of the Americas, are there any features in that you think are going to be kind of that are the signature features for the F1 track? And how do you think that's going to compare to your favorite track and your track experiences previously?
Well, I've not been to the track. I'm going out after this interview. But what I've heard is that there's like 160 feet elevation change, and I've been told Turn 1 is very like the Red Bull Ring in Austria, which I won at many years ago when I was racing there at the Austrian Grand Prix. I love that track because when you've got that elevation change, you really feel like you're on a roller coaster and one of the fastest cars in the world. So if they've actually been able to achieve that, then I think the drivers will like it. Of course, I hope the drivers love it, because if they do, then you're wearing a Nürburgring T-shirt there, which is a sort of revered racetrack of the world. And if we can have that sort of thing, not the length of the Nürburgring, but if we can have drivers really talking, looking forward to coming and driving this track, then that enthusiasm will grow through the fans. Great.
And speaking of the fans, I mean, we have a huge country here. What do you think makes Austin the best choice for an F1 race here? Say, aside from New York or DC, that I think we're also trying to get a race here. What makes Austin the standout from your experience just in the last few days here?
Well, when since I got here, I've had the opportunity to talk to some people and try and understand, right, why are we here and how is it going to work? There's no question this is a young, vibrant city, so there's a lot of energy and enthusiasm here, irrespective of Formula One. So I think that energy will be something that will help build the atmosphere when we come here for the Grand Prix. We will bring a couple of thousand people when we come, just in terms of crew and everything, across the various mechanics. So there'll be a lot of people coming just from Formula One anyway, and then when you add all the fan base that's going to be there, then there's tens of thousands of people will come to this event, which is going to, people are going to spend the money here in Austin. From a location, geographical point of view, then I understand it taps into a huge population, a large part of the population of America, and also you've got South America as well. And I think that with some South American drivers, I've heard there's been a lot of interest from Mexico, for instance, which got Sergio Perez driving for Sauber. So yeah, it makes complete sense. You've got a young city, affluent area, and you have a racetrack which is only 7 miles from downtown, so people will stay in the city, spend their dollars here, and then go out and enjoy the racing on the weekends.
And on that same kind of note, what can we do to build the excitement in America for F1? I mean, predominantly F1, you talk to a lot of racing enthusiasts here. They've heard of F1, they've maybe watched a race. What can we do as enthusiasts and as media to generate a little more interest and keep that interest up in Formula One in America?
Well, I think it's going to be easier for the enthusiasts to talk about Formula One and to give examples to people who don't know. What is Formula One? Why is it interesting? Why should they watch? When you have a Grand Prix here, it's always going to be more difficult for you when you're trying to tune in and watch European races. So the fact that we have a Grand Prix coming here and it's contracted for 10 years, there's a real base there to help develop the fan base. There was huge crowds turned up when we went to Indianapolis, so I'd expect a capacity crowd when we come here anyway. But to really get it to be embraced on television, then things like this. Red Bull are the first team to come down here and show the Formula One car and to film this promotional video, and to give people the opportunity to get a flavour for what they can expect when they come back.
All right, now we get into a little bit more fun here. What was more fun, hooning the Kamaz Master race truck again, across Moscow, or watching Nicky Hayden try to drive a DTM Mercedes?
Well, all of those events are fantastic, and that's the thing that I absolutely love about having the opportunity to work with Red Bull, because if you think of an idea, provided it's legal, then you can go and make it happen. And I would never have the chance to drive, that big Kamaz truck and to just experience. We were driving through walls of snow that I thought you'd have to sort of stop and get a JCB in and clear them. So I've experienced that now firsthand. And when you say like Nicky Hayden, very successful MotoGP rider, ex-world champion, to get him behind the wheel, to sit beside him and to see how he translates what he would see as a motorbike rider into four wheels. And I think I had more spins on that first lap because he didn't take the approach of I'll build up slowly. He took the approach of I'm going to find the limit at the first corner. Okay, found it. I'll find the limit at the second corner. So his first lap he did that the whole way around, and that's exciting to see because he is a professional competitor and he was just stepping into something a bit different.
That's great. So, donuts in the capital are awesome. Cops have any words for you about that?
Well, I can go out there and scrub the rubber off the track or off the road if it's deemed inappropriate. But I think it's just nice to give people a little bit of a flavour. And Formula One is loud, it's powerful. You can't really show the speed on the streets, but I think that certainly, the people who turned out, this wasn't a public event, but a number of people turned out to watch, and I'm just really happy with the enthusiasm that's there. There's a fan base here for Formula One, and it's now down to us to promote it and to come here and do a great race, and then the fans will follow.
David, thank you very much for your time. I know it's been a long morning for you, a little bit warm. I appreciate the time with us, and look forward to seeing you again. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Cool. All right.